Local programming on KRWG Public Media made possible in part by viewers like you. Thank you.
This is KRWG Public Media, TV, radio, online. News that matters. Now, across the Mesilla Valley and the borderland, the stories that shape our community. From the KRWG Broadcast Center at New Mexico State University, this is Newsmakers.
Thank you for joining us for Newsmakers. I'm KC Counts. The Las Cruces International Film Festival takes place in various locations around town, April 12th through 16th. And we're talking with the festival's executive director, Ross Marks, about the event and its impact on our community. Ross, thank you so much for taking the time to join us here today.
I'm glad to be here, and thank you for having me.
Well, I want to start with Giancarlo Esposito, who is coming in and receiving the Outstanding Achievement Award for Entertainment. First of all, tell us what goes into choosing the person for that award.
So that's the most, I don't want to diminish any other part of the festival, that's one of the most important parts because they become the face of the festival. So every year prior to the festival, when I solicit sponsorships or sell tickets or go out in the community, the question I always get is who's coming? Who's coming? Who's coming? The festival's this day. Who's coming? Who's coming? So it's really important that we have a good face for the festival. In the past, we've had Danny Trejo, we've had Edward James Olmos, George Lopez, Brendan Fraser, Oscar winner. We've had Richard Dreyfuss, Oscar winner. So we have 2 Oscar winners now, pretty exciting. We've had Sybil Shepherd. Last year with William H. Macy. So this year it is Giancarlo Esposito. And he was our #1 choice. And it's rare that that happens for us to get our #1 choice. And the reason he is and was our #1 choice is because what he's done for film in New Mexico. His Breaking Bad role, his Better Call Saul role, he's a New Mexico resident now. He's a character actor, a working man's actor. Las Cruces is a working man's town, so he really represents Las Cruces well and represents film in New Mexico well. So I was thrilled when he said yes, that he would join us this year.
I feel very fortunate that I was so late watching Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul and Mandalorian. Now they're all just fresh in my mind, so it was certainly very exciting.
Yeah, amazing show. Game changer for the state of New Mexico.
Let's talk about the conversation with Mr. Esposito.
Yeah, so we're having it on April 13th, 2 o'clock at the Center for the Arts. And it's free and open to the public, and it's really, the Las Cruces International Film Festival is the largest film festival in the country run by a university. It's a completely university run. I teach a class in the fall where the students program the festival, and then a class in the spring where the students run the festival. So we really want to give to the New Mexico State University community. So he comes on campus, talks to the students, and it's an opportunity for the students to hear from a world-class, talented, successful individual on what it takes to succeed in Hollywood, what it takes to succeed in life, and how he got to where he is, and give advice. And last year, William H. Macy, we had standing room only, people were in the aisles, and I expect the same for Giancarlo. So if you are going to come to the conversation, which I'm going to moderate, I'm going to ask him questions about his career, ask him questions about certain roles that he's played, and then we're going to open up to the audience and let them ask him questions. And so it's a really rare and unique opportunity for us to have somebody of his stature on our campus.
Let's talk about the screening of the show.
Yes. So I asked Giancarlo, we want to screen a film of your choice that represents your body of work. You tell us that film. We're going to screen it at the Allen Theater, Cinnaport, April 13th, 7 p.m. And then afterwards do a Q&A. So he wanted to screen a film that he directed and starred in the show. He's particularly proud of the work. It's interesting, a lot of the films that the celebrities select are films that are lesser known, that they don't think got the audience they deserve, and this is certainly the case with the show. I don't think a ton of people saw it compared to some of his other work, and he wants people to see it, which is why we're going to screen it. And after the screening, we're going to get a chance to talk to him and ask him about the film and the choices he made and the experience he had making the film. So that's my favorite part of the festival. I love movies. I go to movies 2-3 times a week. After every movie I see, I always have questions for the filmmakers. Of course, I can't ask them, but the film festival I can.
Yeah, absolutely. And you mentioned some of the past attendees and honorees, and I think it was really special for a lot of people watching the Oscars and to see Brendan Fraser win. He had to be a sentimental favorite, whether you're from Las Cruces or not.
Yeah.
What did that moment mean to you, having hosted him, and what can you tell us about what maybe he took away from it?
You know, having Brendan here was particularly meaningful because Brendan and I made a movie together back in the late 90s called The Twilight of the Golds, and I directed the film, and Brendan's participation is what got the film made, and he and I became very close. And when I reached out to him after I was running the festival, I said, I'd like you to come to the festival that I've started called the Las Cruces International Film Festival. It would really mean a lot to me. He said he would come. And he came, and he said, when we gave him the Outstanding Achievement Entertainment Award, he stood up and held the award. He said, you know, I was at the Sundance Film Festival with Ross in the 90s, and this festival reminds me of Sundance. And I literally, tears in my eyes, because that's my dream, is that our festival, Las Cruces International Festival, is the Sundance of the Southwest, that we're doing what Sundance did do in the 90s, support independent filmmakers, support, you know, people, elevating them and telling their stories. I think Sundance has kind of lost their way now, and I think festivals like us can move in there and do what they used to do.
What is it about Sundance?
Well, Sundance used to be an independent filmmaker's home. So if you would go to Sundance like I did, I was very fortunate. I had 2 films premiere there. I sold 2 films there. You would go there without a distributor, without a buyer. You'd screen your film, and then it became a market. And the buyers would say, we love your film. We want to buy your film. Now you can't get into Sundance if you don't have a distributor. If Fox made your film, if Paramount, then you're getting into Sundance. Used to be you'd go to Sundance and you didn't big stars in your film. Robert Rodriguez, of course, had El Mariachi and Tarantino with Reservoir. And now, if Ryan Gosling isn't the star of your film, you can't get into Sundance. 14,000 submissions last year for Sundance Film Festival. So the independent filmmaker doesn't have the home that they had, and that's why we started the Las Cruces Film Festival, is to give the independent filmmaker a home. If you don't have a distributor, if you don't have a star, and you need a place to screen your film with supportive, adoring audiences, come to Las Cruces, because that's what we're offering. But to get back to your question with Brendan, he called me after the festival, and he said, I have to thank you and your community. He said, because I was at a really low point in my career. I hadn't worked for a while. I felt like people had forgotten me, and I felt so elevated and so lifted up and so inspired by your festival that I really believe, you know, that I can go forward and have a career again. And I said, I'm glad you said that, because we really believe in you in Las Cruces. And when he won, I texted him. I said, congratulations from your friends and family in Las Cruces. And he said, thank you. I'll never forget that festival.
I'd like to text him too. Catch up with me after this week.
Yes, I'll send you his contact.
All right, let's talk about opening night.
So our opening night film is Land of Dreams, which is a film that was shot in New Mexico. Of course, we're all about supporting New Mexico films. It's got a tremendous cast. It's got Ilabeza Rossellini. It's got Matt Dillon. It's got William Moseley, my friend Christopher McDonald. It's got just an incredible cast. Anna Gunn, you know, also from Breaking Bad. So we've got a big Breaking Bad theme this year in the festival. And it's a really unique, provocative film. It's an edgy, truly indie film. I think audiences are going to like it. I think it's going to make them think. It's going to make them laugh. It's going to move them in ways emotionally that is kind of unexpected. So we're really excited. It kicks off the festival April 12th, 7 o'clock. And I think audiences are really going to like that film.
How do you choose that film?
That's also, so the Outstanding Achievement Entertainment Award winner and the opening night film are really 2 linchpins for the festival. So we really comb the globe. We want to find a film that has some star power, because we want to kick the opening night off with some celebrities. So bringing in the Matt Dillons and William Mosleys and Anna Gunns and Chris, that's really exciting. We roll out the red carpet. So and the fact that it's a New Mexico film, this is 2 years in a row. Last year's opening night film was a New Mexico film. This year it is a New Mexico film. If we can continue screening top-notch, star-driven, independent films as our opening night films, then we're completing a mission that's really important to us.
Indeed. Let's talk about director Kevin Reynolds.
Yes, so Kevin Reynolds is getting our Outstanding Achievement in Directing Award. Kevin's roots started as an independent filmmaker. Famously, his first film was Fandango, which discovered Kevin Costner. Kevin Reynolds and Kevin Costner were partners for about 20 years, making movies together. They did Robin Hood, they did Waterworld, and Kevin is screening a film of his called The Count of Monte Cristo. So we're going to screen The Count of Monte Cristo on April 14th, and Kevin's also going to do a workshop on how directing in film and television.
Let's talk a little bit about those workshops. Talk about the variety of workshops and who attends them and what do they take away?
So one of the goals of the festival, in addition to screening films you otherwise would not get a chance to see, in addition to meeting celebrities and people are really accomplished in industry, is also training Southern New Mexicans to work in film. So this year we've got a screenwriting panel, we've got a writing for games and animation panel, we've got a costuming panel, we've got an independent filmmaking panel, we've got marketing your film, we've got the directing for film and television. So we've got all these workshops and panels, the goal of which is to educate and train people in Southern New Mexico to work in the exploding film and television industry in New Mexico. And I'm proud to say that we've got a great track record of doing that, because I get contacted all the time from a filmmaker who will say, you know what, I was at your festival and now I'm getting ready to shoot my film in Las Cruces. I want to thank you for giving me the opportunity and teaching us how to do so. So they're pretty important, the workshops and panels.
Well, we know that most industries are suffering from a lack of qualified workers. I mean, as soon as you can churn them out, are they getting work?
Yes. So we, in New Mexico last year, was almost $1 billion in film and television, with the 4th largest in the nation between California, New York, and Georgia. Then comes New Mexico. And there's a need for people to work in the film industry. There's more films going on than there are people to work in the films. My day job, of course, is I teach film at the Creative Media Institute, and I would say that 100% of our graduates who want to work in film get jobs working in film, because the demand and the need is there. And so it's pretty exciting to be part of that industry right now in this state.
How do you make a movie in 48 hours?
So that's also a really fun part of the festival, our 48-hour film contest. In 48 hours, you have to write, shoot, and edit your film. It's the biggest 48-hour film contest in the Southwest, bigger than anything in Texas, Arizona, Nevada. We get over 60 teams, and then we screen those films on Saturday at 4 o'clock, April 15th. And you'd be surprised how good these films are. And we get this, teams year after year after year. So by now they've kind of figured out how to do it. I don't know that I could do it, but I can certainly celebrate those that can. It's a hard thing to do.
Well, I couldn't even come up with a title in 48 hours, Let's talk about all the awards ceremonies that people can attend and take part in.
So on April 15th at 7 p.m. at the Rio Grande Theater's our awards ceremony. We give all the awards: Best Narrative Feature Film, Best Documentary, Best Short, Best Narrative Short, Best. We give the 48-hour Film Awards. We're also giving Patrick Fabian, who's going to be in town, the Outstanding Achievement in Drama Award for all the Better Call Saul fans. We have a band that performs. We've got a comedian, MC. So we kind of do it up. It's our version of the Oscars. A little bit of Hollywood comes to Las Cruces. We roll out the red carpet and people dress up, and it's really fun and exciting. And then on the next day, on Sunday, we do kind of an encore presentation where we screen all the award-winning films at the Cineport.
How many red carpets do you have to have?
A lot of red carpets go into making this event. Yes, we roll them out at the theater. We roll them out at the award ceremony. I have my wife roll out a red carpet to my house the week of the festival to make me feel like I'm part of something special. And
it's probably good to practice.
Yes, exactly.
So you get your walk down just
exactly.
right.
She says, "I'll roll out the red carpet. You have to vacuum it." So
yeah, but I noticed there's also some VIP events that are going on separately.
Yeah. So our VIP events, which are always really well attended and exciting. We have our opening night film festival event at La Posta, Thursday celebrating Giancarlo Esposito at the Cineboard in the lobby. Friday night we're at the Double Eagle. Saturday night we're at the Game 2. So those are private parties with the filmmakers, sponsors, VIP pass holders, and celebrities. And it really, I lived in Los Angeles for 15 years and was a working filmmaker and went to a lot of premiere parties and a lot of Hollywood parties. And so we try to replicate those here in Las Cruces, and we do a pretty good job of it. They're fun and exciting.
You talked just a little bit about the Creative Media Institute. Since you've been teaching students how to make films, how has that process changed?
Well, we've grown significantly. We're almost 500 majors now. So the challenge has been to service that many students with limited resources. We only have so many classrooms and so many faculty, and we actually have an application process where sadly we have to turn students away because we just can't service them. But because of the application process, because of the growth of the program, the quality of the student, the talent of the student has really grown, and I see some incredibly talented students that the sky's the limit for them, whether it be in directing, producing, screenwriting, cinematography, editing. We also teach animation and special effects. So we're educating and turning out the filmmakers of tomorrow.
The New Mexico legislative session this year, again, made some incentives for the film industry. Talk about how that policy over the years has led to growth, and has it been enough?
Well, that's the single, people ask me all the time, why is there so much work in New Mexico for film and television? And the simple answer is the financial benefits vis-a-vis the rebate and the tax incentive. And people are coming from all around the world to make films in New Mexico because the state of New Mexico is essentially saying, because you've invested in film and television in New Mexico, we're going to give you something in return. And that's somewhere in the 25 to 35, up to 40%, which is significant. For every dollar you spend in New Mexico, if you're going to get 40 cents back from the state, that's a real reason to go make your film and or your television series here. So that's been the single largest reason why the film industry has grown. It's really important that the legislature, and of course our governor, has been so supportive of film and television. She has made it her mission to grow that industry by eliminating the cap, elevating the cap, increasing the incentive, supporting film, starting a new film academy that's going to be coming here shortly. So she's done amazing things for the state in terms of film and television, and we've got another 3 years of growth under her.
Well, you know, we can't ignore what happened on the set of Rust. How does that serve as a learning moment or changes that you might see that need to be made moving forward?
Well, you know, having worked as a director on a set where a weapon was present, it still befuddles me and confuses me how something like that could happen. How a live round could get onto a film set is something that my imagination just won't allow me to understand that, because it's almost impossible that would happen. For them to bring a gun onto a film set and not do proper protocol and demonstrate to the crew that there are empty chambers. So there are protocols in place so these things don't happen, and they weren't followed. And so for a film with someone like Alec Baldwin, who's an experienced, accomplished actor, to have that happen is really unfathomable and not acceptable. So it damages film across the country. It damages film in New Mexico, and it certainly damages people that are in, because it was an independent film, so it damages independent filmmaking as a whole. So it was a real black eye for all of us.
Let's get back to the film festival now and what you can say about its impact on the greater Las Cruces community.
So I think it's the signature event for Las Cruces, and this is coming from the city. They're a huge supporter of ours. Visit Las Cruces, the tourism department has done so much for us. Last year we had 10,000 people, and 3,000 people came from out of state and stayed in hotels to be at the festival. So that's a pretty big deal. We have them coming all the way from the East Coast, a lot from California, Arizona, northern New Mexico. So to have 3,000 out-of-town guests come to Las Cruces for the festival, experience Las Cruces, see what a great place it is really rewarding for me. When I go there and I see every screening sold out, and I see all these people there and they're having a great time, and they're working with my students because it's student run, it makes it all worthwhile for me, because I'm just doing it. It's really the reason I do the film festival year after year is I want my students to have this real world experiential learning opportunity, but I also want to give back to my community, because Las Cruces has been so good to me and my family. My late father-in-law Mark Medoff was here 52 years, and this community supported him, and they're supporting me. So when I put on the film festival, this is my tangible way of saying thank you, Las Cruces.
What are some areas where you think Las Cruces could grow or do better to accommodate an event like this?
Like I said, 10,000 people last year. We look like we're going to be a little over 12,000 people this year. The sponsorships went up this year. The city increased their support. The state of New Mexico actually came in this year as a sponsor, New Mexico True, for the first time. So they're doing it. I mean, they're supporting. I hear just about every business owner, restaurant, whatever it may be, and I go to them, I say, would you support the film festival? I haven't had a person say no. Everyone says, yes, how can I help? What can we do? So everybody's doing it, and it's growing in a significant way, and I really do see, this is our 8th year as the Las Cruces International Film Festival, I really do see where we will be, get the attention that Sundance and Tribeca and Telluride and South by Southwest get, and just like the Sundance Film Festival transforms Park City, Utah, I see our festival transforming Las Cruces, New Mexico, if only for a week.
I wanted to save some time to talk about the Hometown Hero Award.
Yeah, I'm really so excited that this year we're giving the Hometown Hero Award to Marcy Dickerson. Marcy is one of the most generous, giving people. She literally will give you the shirt off her back, the pants off her body. She'll walk around naked if it meant clothing somebody else. She's the most generous, giving person. She gives so much to the film festival and so much to the community, and it's continuing a tradition. Last year we gave the award to Russell Allen, who gives so much. This year Marcy Dickerson, and so we try to identify somebody in the community that has done so much for the community and the film festival by elevating them and thanking them. And Marcy, I can't think of anybody more deserving than Marcy Dickerson.
And let's talk a little bit about what people need to know in terms of nuts and bolts about getting to the festival.
Yeah, so you definitely want to get your tickets soon, because I think we are going to be selling out. You can get your tickets at the LasCrucesFilmFest.com. And you can get a day pass, an all-access pass, a VIP pass, individual tickets, or you can just go to the theater, the Allen Theater Cineport at the Mesilla Valley Mall, and buy tickets there.
And what do you see as, you've talked about transforming Las Cruces in terms of the future, and when do you start work on the next film festival after you wrap up this one?
So probably about 2 weeks after, I'll start working on the next festival. We get to work right away. We open up submissions for the following year. My mission is to grow the film industry in southern New Mexico, whether it be making my own films, producing other people's films, putting on our film festival, teaching people to make films through CMI. So that work never ends for me. It's really my goal, my mission. I want to be a good husband, I want to be a good father, and I want to grow the film industry in southern New Mexico. So those are the 3 things I focus on a daily basis.
Well, maybe you can tell us a little bit about one of your own personal focuses outside of that, and what movie are you working on right now?
So I'm pretty excited that right now at this very moment in time, I can't give too much details, but this is a really rewarding thing that's happened. We screened a film called The Killing of Kenneth Chamberlain at the film festival 3 years ago, and it was one of the best films, that maybe the best film I've ever had at my film festival, which is saying a lot. So I said to the filmmakers, I said, this is the best film I've ever had at my festival. If I can ever help you guys in any way, let me know. So they came to me about 6 months ago. They said, we have a script, would you help us get it made? Well, 6 months later, I was able to get the film made. We've got it financed with a major A-list talent attached. The A-list talent is the biggest name that will ever have come to Las Cruces. I can't announce it yet. It'll come out soon.
But you'll call me first,
I will
right?
call you. So these guys, the filmmakers of The Killing of Kenneth Chamberlain, we have a film. It's called The Ritual. It's going to be shot in Las Cruces this summer with a major A-list talent. I'm producing it. That's pretty exciting. And then I'm directing a film myself in the fall, a feel-good Christmas movie. So I've got those 2 projects that I'll be doing in the very near future.
Would that be Die Hard, 45? Or
Right, exactly.
Thank you so much,
Thank you for having
Marks, the Executive Director of the Las Cruces International Film Festival. Just a great conversation. Best of luck to you through the film festival and beyond.
Thank you, and I hope to see you at the film festival.
All right. And coming up next in this community connection, we'll meet the president of the Mesilla Valley Film Society, Carol McCall, who tells us about the organization and how the films they show affect our community.
The Mesilla Valley Film Society is a nonprofit organization. It began in 1989. Two women just decided there needed to be a venue for independent films that there wasn't already in Las Cruces. So with credit cards, personal credit cards, they rented the Fountain Theater and began to book films. And so we're in our 28th year. We show independent foreign films and documentary films and animation to audiences in the Southwest. The Fountain Theater is the only art house within 250 miles or so. And so the Film Society really does have a critical role to play in the arts in southern New Mexico and West Texas, for that matter. We try to provide, through the films that we show, exposure to other cultures, other ways of life, other parts of the world that you wouldn't get a chance to see otherwise. And so I think it's very important to have a venue like this, because otherwise people wouldn't see those movies. We occasionally partner with other nonprofits to present films of special interest, and that's what we do. We're volunteer-based. All of the positions are volunteer. The ticket takers, the concessions workers, all of our projectionists. And I have to tell you, without volunteers, we probably wouldn't exist, because we have a staff of close to 100 people, and they're very dedicated and very good at what they do. We have a website. It's messiahvalleyfilm.org, and you can sign up to be a member or a volunteer, or just to get our weekly announcement of coming attractions. The Fountain Theater is at 2469 Calle de Guadalupe in Mesilla. It's 1/2 block off the plaza. We show movies every night at 7:30, and we have a 1:30 matinee on Saturday and a 2:30 matinee on Sunday. $7 for regular admission, $6 for students, seniors, and military, and $5 for members. Our members are very loyal. It is a way to support the Film Society monetarily. And just being a patron, buying our popcorn, which is the best popcorn in town, and we use real butter, and we serve Milagro coffee and Haagen-Dazs ice cream and quality pastries. Just coming in to see a movie is going to be a good experience for people. And that's the best way to get involved, is to just come and see a movie.
That's our time for now. Join us this week on KRWG Radio. Every weekday, it's Morning Edition from 5 a.m. to 9, Fresh Air at 11, followed by Here and Now from noon to 2, and All Things Considered 4 to 7. KRWG News is always online at krwg.org, and we'd like to hear from you. Email us with story ideas and video submissions. The address is feedback@nmsu.edu. For all of us at KRWG News, I'm KC Counts. Have a great week. We'll see you next time on Newsmakers.